Ball, Texas on the road at Texas A&M, a team that was struggling after that 5 overtime loss. The Aggies bounced back with a win. How do you expect them to come out against the Longhorns?
Well, it's the guard play that'll control the game. Kirk has to be big for A&M. Sloan has to be big because Texas with A.J. Abrams and Augustine will want to control the game and keep it away from those big guys down low.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. I think it's guards for Texas, and it's the big people for Texas A&M. I think that it's going to be the tale of who can get the possessions going in their favor. Augustine is probably the best point guard in the country right now, so it's going to be a great game to watch.
Mark Turgeon says that after that 5 overtime loss to Baylor, it brought the team closer together. How does something like that work, a horrible loss like that, ending up as a positive?
That's just a good spin by a good coach, I think.
Absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
When you lose a game like that, that's devastating. But, you know, they're still playing well, and they've got to really, they came off with a big win at Oklahoma State, so I'm looking for them to play well at home tonight.
Got to have some chemistry. It's a statement game for both teams.
Statement trying to be made by two teams in the Big East. You'll catch that one coming up. It's Villanova on the road against Pitt.
We need you to paint your face. It's Spirit Week.
I'll work on that. Maybe at halftime, these guys will be painted up, ready to go. Enjoy the game.
Students, they are a big part of the game. Reacting to drama, enhancing energy, reflecting passions. Welcome as ESPN celebrates Student Spirit Week. They've had 5 years of sellout crowds here at the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh. Another capacity crowd on hand tonight as the 21st ranked Panthers take on Villanova at Student Spirit Week, presented by EAS. Here's what the Big East looks like right now. 6-1 Georgetown atop the standings. Pitt's tied for 6th place, coming off a tough home loss to Rutgers in their last outing. And then the rest of the standings look like this, with Villanova on that Big East tournament bubble right now. Only 12 teams will get to go to Madison Square Garden. They are coming off of back-to-back losses last week. And welcome to Pittsburgh. Beth Mullins along with John Celestin. And John, both these teams coming off of disappointing losses, looking to bounce back here tonight.
Yeah, tough losses for both teams. Villanova lost to a hot shooting Notre Dame team, and Rutgers came in here and shocked Pittsburgh a couple days ago. So both teams trying to get on track here, and we're going to see what they can do tonight.
Let's take a look now at our Star Watch. It features Scotty Reynolds, the sophomore leading scorer for Villanova. Had one of his toughest outings of the year back on January 6th against Pitt. And DeJuan Blair, the freshman, a 3-time Big East Rookie of the Week.
When you talk about Scotty Reynolds, you're talking about one of the top guards in the conference. He can do it all for Villanova. And DeJuan Blair, I mean, he's a bully in the paint, a rebounding machine, a double-double monster. He's going to look to get off tonight for Pittsburgh.
The starting lineup for Villanova featuring 4 underclassmen, including Corey Fisher, coming off a season-high 33 minutes and 13 points in the loss to Notre Dame. And for Pittsburgh, the injuries 9 games ago to Mike Cook and Levance Field, so Ronald Ramon gets the 9th start at the point. He is already one of the tops in Pitt history in three-point shooting and free throw shooting. Panthers 4-3 in the league. Villanova at 3-4. Cahill, Collins, and Driscoll are officials here tonight. Pittsburgh will be in their home whites. Villanova in their road blues. And it was a tight one back on January 6th at the Pavilion in Philadelphia. A 1-point win for Nova. And one of the big stories, John, was the turnovers for Pittsburgh. That was just their second game playing without Cook and Fields.
Yeah, they had trouble with the basketball that night. You know, Villanova likes to force turnovers. A big one down the stretch. Let's see if some things change tonight.
Ronald Ramon, the 6'1 senior from the Bronx. Since that Villanova loss, a 4-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. He's been very good at the point. And the quick foul is going to be charged to Scotty Reynolds. That will be the first on the 6'2 sophomore out of Herndon, Virginia.
And Villanova can't afford that. They have to have their top player in the game. Scotty Reynolds committing a, I would say, silly foul right there. And you see the pressure by Villanova. Let's see if they can turn them over. Pittsburgh is going to try to handle the basketball and run the show.
Sam Young just having an outstanding year for the Panthers. Benjamin, he's probably benefited the most from the injuries and making good use of more minutes as a result. In his 7th season over on the sideline for Villanova is Jay Wright. 3 straight trips to the NCAA tournament, 3 consecutive 20-win seasons.
Has done a good job on the main line, has recruited a lot of big-time talent out of Philadelphia, New York, bringing a lot of guys to the main line. Villanova.
There we saw Blair. He likes to hedge hard on that high ball screen. Cunningham with the offensive rebound. Runner no good by the freshman Corey Fisher, making his first trip here to Pittsburgh.
And Pittsburgh, this is a big-time atmosphere right here. I mean, these fans are really into the game. We heard them before the game heckling the Villanova players, heckling even me, the announcer.
Jamie Dixon in his 5th year, 4 straight trips to the tournament, 4 consecutive 20-win seasons since he's been here. The former assistant coach here as well.
And he's also done a remarkable job here at Pitt. Has really put together a remarkable record in his tenure here.
The kick out to Fisher, no. How about the tempo for Villanova? Pena misses inside. They'd like to see this up and down.
Yeah, Villanova wants to go up and down. They want to pressure the basketball. They want to force turnovers, go off the dribble. I think Pitt is a more of a slow-down team, but they want to take care of the basketball, dump it down low to Blair, and have Young go off the dribble as well.
Both teams have missed their first 3 shots. Pena has it rejected. Sam Young got up there to swat it, and then Pitt gave it away on the break.
How about this pace here? Neither team really able to put the ball in the basket right now. You see right here, Pena has the ball, and he has a nice little turnaround right there, but one of the most athletic players in the league, Sam Young, saying, no, sir.
Young having the type of season that might garner him most improved or perhaps player of the year honors in the conference if he can keep it up in the second half of the season. Here he is again defending. Ramon tried to strip it out of there. Knocked out of bounds last touch by the Panthers.
An interesting strategy by Villanova. We all know that they're a guard-oriented team, but right now it seems like they're dumping the ball in low, down low, and you see everybody scrapping. You see Blair diving right there, getting a little dusty.
Saying hello to the folks in the expensive seats here courtside. He's a local guy, grew up in this neighborhood. Fisher inside. Blair with the rebound and the quick outlet. Pitt on the go. Benjamin looking for 3, and there's the first bucket of the night.
And Benjamin can score. He's been doing it as of late. He scored 22 times this year, 14.5 points per game over the last 8 games. He's been filling it up.
The senior has hit more 3s this year than he did in his first 3 seasons combined. And the nice backdoor move to Reggie Redding, the 6'5 sophomore out of Philly.
And that's a nice look right there by Fisher. You see him executing a nice little backdoor with the overplay right there.
Tried to dump it inside. Redding, by the way, back in the starting lineup today because of Shane Clark hasn't been feeling well of late.
You see right there the little backdoor cut. When you overplay on the wing, you're supposed to cut backdoor and get the wide open layup, as Redding did right there.
Out of bounds play to Benjamin, no. Offensive rebound for Young, and he draws the foul.
And Young, he's a beast. You got to keep him off the glass. He's active. You know, Pittsburgh is one of the top teams in the conference in offensive rebounding, so you really have to keep them off the boards if you want to be successful, because they will definitely crash the glass.
The 6'6 junior out of Clinton, Maryland. Look at the change from last year to this year for Sam LeMan.
I mean, he's really improved. I mean, 7.2. He probably would be up there as the most improved player in the conference right there. I mean, look at his field goal percentage going from 46 to 51. He's shooting the basketball. And I talked to Coach Dixon. They said he was a big-time player last year, but he had to wait his turn, you know. Freshman in the conference, now he's a sophomore, actually junior.
Reynolds, nice look inside to Redding. Rejected again, a couple of blocks for Pitt inside. Ramon, on a reset. Trying to get Blair a touch. There's the big fella. The double comes from the guard, and Blair goes through it. Brown keeps it alive.
And one thing about both of these teams are scrappy defensive teams. And you see Brown right there knocking down the three.
This has been a problem area for the Villanova defense all year long. They have not defended well outside the arc, and that's the second triple for the Panthers.
And you hear this energy, you hear this crowd.
Cunningham missed with the left. Ripped out of there by Brown. Young looking for three more. Scotty Reynolds corrals. Villanova has started 1 of 9. Make it 1 for 10.
And I don't know if that's a great shot right there, especially when you've missed your first couple. Villanova has to run some type of offense, get into a set, and look for a high percentage shot.
Blair stepping away from the bucket. Setting the screen for Benjamin, who dumps it inside to Dewan with the left hand.
And that's a nice pass by Benjamin, and Blair has soft hands. He's around the basket. He's all over the place.
Timeout called by Villanova. We'll hear more about this great crowd when we come back.
The power of Villanova. Innovation. Discovery. Community. Inspiration. Excellence. The power of Villanova University.
9-2 Pittsburgh jumping in front of Villanova. The Cats are cold, just 1 of 10 shooting so far. Trying to end a 2-game losing skid in Pittsburgh. Well, you know they're going to be fired up. That was an embarrassing home loss to Rutgers. They usually protect this home floor very well, but the coaches and the players in the newspaper all week long were saying, hey, we did not play hard. We did not bring the energy we needed.
Yeah, they may have come in here and underestimated the Scarlet Knights. I mean, Freddie Hill's turning some things around down there in Piscataway.
And to give some credit to Rutgers, they had 2 wins over ranked opponents last week, both these teams.
That's right. They beat Villanova. I called that game in Piscataway, and then came into a tough gym right here and knocked off the Panthers. So they're feeling good about themselves, and both of these teams want to feel good about themselves after tonight.
Fisher lost it out of bounds.
And Villanova just does not look crisp right now. I mean, Pitt just putting good pressure on the basketball, keeping the guards out of the paint.
No matter how demanding my workout is, I'm not done until I finish it with EAS Myoplex. Taken within 30 minutes after my workout, the high-quality protein in Myoplex helps me refuel and build lean muscle. That way, I don't waste my workout. Now I'm done. Grab your EAS Myoplex at a leading retailer near you, or for your free sample, go to EAS.com.
Gear when it's cold. Available at Dick's Sporting Goods, your Under Armour headquarters.
Cold Gear when it's cold. Available at Dick's Sporting Goods, your Under Armour headquarters.
The NCAA Women's Basketball Championship coming in March.
ESPNU's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by EAS. Don't waste your workout. And Jockey. Visit us online at jockey.com. Student Spirit Week presented by EAS. Pittsburgh with the lead over Villanova. For more on this great crowd, here's Melissa Knowles.
Beth, they are loud and they are proud. I'm standing here with the zookeeper from the Oakland Zoo, and they have only lost 9 home games since the Peterson Center has been in existence, and these guys are known for having quite an impact on that. Why do you think you guys have such an impact on that?
Well, we've been very, very lucky the last couple of years to have such a great basketball program, and we really feed off the team. The team feeds on us. It's a great, great thing to have here at Pitt because we're full on each other. We love it, and it's great here at Pitt.
And you guys never sit down, and you're very loud. Tell me about some of those traditions.
Well, that's one of the things we like to do is stand up for all 40 minutes of the game, never sit down, jump around. We have a great intro cheer, and we like to do a lot in the community, too. So we're always trying to do whatever we can to help the team in our city.
Thanks so much, Dave. And the zookeepers, back to you.
Thank you very much, Melissa. Well, they'll try and make sure Pitt can get back to winning after that home loss to Rutgers.
And Beth, a zoo it is. Trust me, Pittsburgh fans have always been raucous and rowdy ever since they were at Fitzgerald Fieldhouse back in the day when I was playing for Villanova. I mean, it's the same thing, just a different venue.
Did they remember you when you came in tonight?
Oh, I hope not. And I did not tell them I went to Villanova. They might have started heckling me even more.
Benjamin trying to beat the shot clock with the long three. Good defensive set there from the Cats, and that's going to make Jay Wright happy because in their 2 defeats last week, they gave up over 80 points on both occasions, and that does not sit well with the coaching staff.
Yeah, Villanova's struggling offensively right now. I think they have to force turnovers and get out in transition, have their defense maybe set up some offensive opportunities for them.
They've started out 1 for 11. They haven't scored in 3 minutes. Cunningham, nice look to Anderson, and another missed layup.
And they're just out of rhythm. Even when they make a nice play right there, a pass to Anderson, he cuts down the lane and he misses the layup, and you see him coming right back. Pitt on the other end, making him pay.
Benjamin's second assist as he dropped it off nicely for Gary McGee, the 6'10 rookie from Indiana. It's an 8-0 run right now for the Panthers. Draws the foul on McGee. There's a closer look at what the Panthers have been doing on the defensive end.
And you see right here, Villanova tried to dump the ball down low to Pena the first couple of possessions, but nothing happening in the paint. Pitt rejecting a lot of shots. And then you see him right here having an open layup, but then missing it. And that's caused because they block so many shots early. When you do get a wide open look, you're a little tentative.
Corey Stokes has checked into the Nova lineup. Reynolds ends the 4.5-minute drought with the three-pointer.
And that may get the confidence going for the Wildcats right there. They can't score inside, maybe go out to the perimeter. That's what they do best. Go off the dribble and knock down jumpers.
Tyrell Biggs, number 5 in white, is also checked in for the Panthers. So has Brad Wanamaker, their first sub on the perimeter. Young off the dribble, lost the handle. And then Reynolds lost it. Blocking foul is going to be called on Pena. Well, for up-to-minute news for everything that is college sports, log on to ESPNU.com. If you don't have ESPNU, be sure to log on to ESPNU.com and type in your zip code at the top of the page, or call your local cable operator or satellite provider and log on to ESPNU.com today.
And Pitt just doing a tremendous job at forcing Villanova out of rhythm, really denying passes, getting out in their face. There's no flow to the offense. As a player, I know you need some rhythm. You need to take rhythm jump shots. You need to go off the dribble, drive, and kick. When a team's in your face, when they're pressuring you, there's nothing that's going to happen positive for you.
After Pena committed his first foul, Brown called for the offensive foul for Pittsburgh, his first. Stokes looking for three, no. Into the lane, nice strip by Ramon. Got a hand in there to shake it loose. Oh, guys are having a hard time hanging on to the basketball here on the run.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is the most eloquent of offensive performances by either team.
Kasim Drummond, who has come into the ball game. He has been battling with injuries all year long, has only played in 9 games this season. Villanova was hoping they might be able to work him back into the lineup, so he's getting his first minutes in 4 games. Blair, strong to the bucket, takes the hit and scores.
And Blair, he's just a tremendous force, a tremendous talent in the paint. He posts up strong, he can get deep position, has soft hands, long arms. He's right here from the city of Pittsburgh, big-time recruit for Jamie Dixon.
Out of Shenley High School, led his team to the state championship last year. Look at him rip that rebound out, but then had it jarred loose by Pena on the nice takeaway. The runner is good from Corey Fisher as he attacks the glass.
And that's what he can do. He can get to the basket. He can really score a variety of moves when he gets inside. But how about this game? Beth, is this an ugly game or what? Both teams throwing the ball all over the place.
Both sides trying to find a rhythm, and good job by Fisher to get down on the deck for the loose ball, and then the foul is going to be called on Ramon. That will be his first.
And you're going to see one of Pittsburgh's finest right here. You see Blair making it happen for the Pittsburgh Panthers.
Bring your favorite team home with Glidden Team Colors Paint, the true colors of true fans. Team Colors Paint, exclusively from Glidden and only at the Home Depot.
Old Spice is the bare knuckle, straight arm tackle, heavyweight deodorant that gives the best game, set, and match, high step and sudden death, double overtime performance in the pit fight against odor.
Safe!
From odor. Thanks, Old Spice.
The extreme power of Energizer Lithium, the world's longest-lasting AA battery and high-tech devices. Energizer, keep going.
I promise to eat a vegetable as big as my head. As big as my head.
I promise to be more patient. I promise.
I promise.
I promise to hug my wife.
American Family Insurance. We promise to treat your family like our family.
Like our family.
And help make sure you're covered.
Current.
And competitive. American Family Insurance.
American Family Insurance.
Promise has a color. We love that color.
Student Spirit Week presented by EAS back at the Peterson Event Center. 13-7, Pitt with the lead over Villanova. And some other Big East notes to talk about. The Huskies are rolling along 4 wins in a row, including victories against Indiana and Louisville.
Yeah, UConn looked very impressive. I called the game on radio Monday night. Just a big-time win against Louisville at home. And G-Town, they've been doing it all year. We know they're the cream of the crop in the Big East. And how about Cincinnati? They've been having a good year, knocking off a lot of teams, but heading to Morgantown to face Bobby Huggins coming to West Virginia. Huggins' old team. I know he's excited.
Boy, they're coming off that tough loss at home to Georgetown with the late 3 from Sapp and then the controversial block at the end of the game.
I don't know. I think it was clean. I think it was clean. But who am I? I'm not a referee.
Patrick Ewing Jr. with the rejection at the buzzer. The takeaway by Pitt defensively.
And you see Villanova just making a concerted effort to get the ball inside, but they just don't look comfortable making entry passes. They don't look comfortable playing inside out, I should say.
Biggs to Wanamaker. He'll pull up. Got fouled on the shot just inside the arc. And that'll go against Reggie Redding. That's going to be his first.
And Wanamaker, he's a guard right out of Philadelphia. Hard worker, went to Roman Catholic High School, getting some time. No, he wants to play big against Villanova.
Wanamaker off the mark. There's Kasim Drummond, the sophomore from West Orange, New Jersey, with the right ankle stress fracture. Missed 6 games, came back for a few minutes against DePaul, and then was back out for the last 3 games. And they were hopeful today at shoot-around they might be able to get him some minutes.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Jay Wright. They didn't want to push him. He tried to come back on the foot. It just bothered him, and they need him out there. I mean, besides Pena, you know, Dante Cunningham's an undersized big man. They need a presence in the paint. They need him to get back out in the basketball court.
Redding tried the pass inside. We also alluded to the fact that Redding is in the starting lineup because we have not yet seen Shane Clark, who usually would be a starter for Villanova. But they've been so concerned about his fatigue and his energy level the last couple of weeks. They've actually sent him to the doctor. He's getting some tests done to see if they can find out what's going on right now with Shane.
Yeah, Shane's an active guy. You just want to be careful. You want to make sure everything's okay. Hasn't provided that energy this year. Hasn't provided the scoring punch that we know he can do.
They miss his vocal leadership when he's not out there as Drummond commits the foul. This is a young Villanova team without a senior on the roster.
And a lot of lofty expectations. I think a lot of people had them ranked a little bit too high, especially when you have a lot of freshmen getting major minutes out there. And it's starting to show once they got into Big East play here.
Also one of the reasons I think why consistency has been a question mark for them all year long. Young, the runner, no. Ping-ponging around, Biggs comes down with it. Big advantage on the glass right now for Pittsburgh. Wanamaker, no, around and out. Pittsburgh's going to keep it. Here's the roster breakdown, in fact, for the Wildcats and, on the young side.
And you see that big donut at the bottom, and that's for seniors, 4 freshmen, 4 sophomores, 4 juniors. A lot of youth out there on the basketball court. So you got to work the kinks out for a couple of years.
Good help defense coming over from Cunningham to get the block.
And you see Malcolm Grant has checked in the game for Villanova. They call him the microwave. I mean, he can really light it up. He's had a couple of 20-point games all in the second half this year. But you see right here the drive, and here comes Cunningham. Does a lot of dirty work for Villanova. Comes up and wipes it up against the glass.
That's what Jay Wright was talking about today at shoot-around. We've got to have better team defense, and there was a good example of Cunningham coming over to help out.
And that's one thing, when you're a young team, that's the biggest place you're going to struggle is defensively. A lot of guys can guard their guys one-on-one, but learning that position defense, learning to be in the right place at the right time is something that you learn as, you know, over the years.
Fadeaway by Reynolds. He's 1 of 4. They're shooting 15% in the ball game. And Benjamin hangs and hits at the other end.
And how about Benjamin? How about the way he pushed that basketball and just attacked the defender running back? When you have a guy on his heel, you have to just keep going at him until he stops you. And listen to this crowd.
Pitt has kept the Cats' offense quiet. Grant, he was one of the stars in the Nova win back on January 6th with 22 points, and Drummond just had it pinned to the backboard by Biggs.
Get that out of here, big fella.
Redding, pretty spin in the lay-in.
And that's a nice move by Redding. He's out of Philadelphia, too, and, you know, even when Villanova scores, it looks as if they're working so hard to get a shot. Nothing easy.
Grant defending on Ramon. Reynolds went for the pick. Biggs fouled by Drummond, and some bad luck right there by Villanova. They had guys diving all over the place and couldn't grab it. And the other way, Keith Benjamin, the senior from Mount Vernon, New York. He's running coast to coast with this one. All the way for the lay-in, and it's off Pitt early.
Nissan engineers know the backbone of any truck is its frame. That's why the Nissan Titan's frame is fully boxed. Unlike competitors' C-frames that are prone to flexing, our box frame is the strongest truck frame we've ever built. Just one more reason, it's the Titan of trucks. The 2008 full-size Nissan Titan. Now get up to $5,000 Nissan cashback or 0.9% APR financing.
ESPNU brings you National Signing Day, time for recruits to commit.
The University of Southern California.
And for the country's top football programs to bring in fresh talent. Get a full day of expert analysis as we break down each signing.
They've got to solidify the quarterback spot.
And predict who's built for success.
This might be the biggest running back recruit in this entire class.
Live coverage begins next Wednesday at noon on ESPNU, presented by 76, with expanded coverage on ESPN.com, ESPNU.com, and ESPN2.
Pop quiz. It's time to register for winter term. But Katie used up most of her scholarships, grants, and federal loans. So how does she get the extra cash for college? A, reffing sumo wrestlers. B, go on a game show. C, be a deodorant sniffer. Or D, call the Strive Student Loans. The correct answer is D. With an Strive student loan, you can borrow what you need for your education-related expenses. So forget high-interest credit cards. You can even save money and interest when you add a cosigner with good credit. And you get to choose the way you want to repay, including waiting till after you graduate. The Strive Student Loans. It's the smart way to borrow. Or you can always be a human sushi roll.
Strive Student Loans. Applying is fast and free, so go online to strive406.com or call 1-800-671-2685 now.
16-9, Pitt with the lead over Villanova, holding the Cats right now to 20% shooting, John.
Yeah, it's because they're playing very good help defense. I mean, you see Villanova able to drive to the basket, they're able to make nice passes, and just when you think you have an open shot, here comes a guy over, blocking. They're in position. They're forcing Villanova to really think about every shot.
3 blocks, a couple of steals so far. They forced 5 turnovers. Now Terrell Biggs to shoot a pair.
And I tell you, as a player, man, when you're as a guard, you know, even if you're a big guy, when you're always worried about, you know, you get past one guy, where's the help coming from? Where's another guy coming from? You know, it just makes it just really difficult to get into a rhythm to play smoothly.
Biggs get the second one to go to make it an 8-point lead. 7:31 to go. First half here at the Peterson Event Center. Panthers trying to even the score. They lost to Villanova in Philadelphia earlier this month. Reynolds down low to Pena. Blair over to help. Pena goes to the right side. No. Rebound ricochets out to Ramon.
And Villanova's the type of team, they don't get going offensively. The defense tends to struggle. And you see right there Sam Young making a nice move, getting to the paint and scoring. And I talked to Jay Wright earlier. He said, you know, as a team, when we don't score the basketball, we tend to suffer on defense. And you see Pitt doing a tremendous job on both ends of the basketball floor.
Pena doubled on the block, and he gets the timeout. Let's check in right now with Melissa Knowles.
Thanks, Beth. You know, during that last timeout, Coach Wright was telling his guys to not get frustrated. He wants them to keep passing the ball and look for the best shot and then finish that shot. Because as you've noticed, a lot of those shots, the good shots that they're getting, are not going in. So he just wants them to finish right now and focus on getting those best shot options. Beth?
Thank you very much, Melissa. We'll join Mike Gleason, Adrian Branch, and Drew Barry for Give and Go tonight as they direct viewers to multiple men's college basketball games around the country with live cut-ins, highlights, and studio analysis. Give and Go on ESPNU tonight at 9 Eastern. And they'll be giving and going with Texas and Texas A&M, K-State and Kansas. Also from the Big East, Syracuse and DePaul. And how about that North Jersey rivalry? Seton Hall and Rutgers toe-to-toe.
Hey. The Garden State grudge match right there, baby.
There you go. Redding drops it off for Pena. No, they cannot dial it in right now from close range. Villanova's had some good looks close to the bucket.
How about the intensity for Pitt right there? How about not giving Villanova any space? Watch right here. See guys in the help everywhere you look. Nowhere to turn. Guys in your face. Everywhere you make a pass, a tough shot. Pittsburgh just doing a tremendous job on the defensive end.
Blair's already got 7 rebounds. That's the second foul on Reggie Redding. And the rebound advantage right now is plus 11 for Pittsburgh. And DeJuan to the free throw line, 61% on the season. Hits the front end.
You know, Pittsburgh, they lead the conference in field goal percentage defense. So they're a very stingy defensive team.
Blair, just a freshman, but he's 3rd in the conference in rebounding, 4th in steals, 7th in field goal percentage, 9th in blocks, all top 10 in those categories.
He's a stat sheet stuffer. Only a freshman. Very impressive.
I think he's got to be up there with the 2 freshmen at Syracuse for Rookie of the Year honors. And here he is with the steal. And he's called for the offensive foul.
And just as we talk about him, you see him getting his hand out there in the passing lane, but committing the offensive foul right there. Don't know if he has a stop and pop pull-up shot yet, but you see him right there getting out in the lane. Maybe right here, stop and a nice little jumper off the glass. Maybe a little tough for a big man.
That might be the most surprising statistic for the center. He leads the team in steals.
Well, look at his arms. I mean, he has long arms. He's 6'7", but he has an arm wingspan of a 7-foot guy.
Reynolds off the hesitation, hangs and scores.
And how about that shot from Reynolds right there, trying to step up. Villanova has to get something going. Not a great shot by Reynolds, but he put it in.
Last year's Big East Rookie of the Year now has 5 points. And John, a lot more responsibility this year, doesn't he? They can't just hang out there and score a lot like he was doing last year.
Yeah, well, last year they had Curtis Sumter. You know, a lot of teams were really focused on him. A little more difficult for Mr. Reynolds this year. Not as many scoring options. They had Mike Nardi as well. Now the teams are focusing on him. They're running at him, and he's really, you know, he's somebody that's on the, you know, that's on the chart.
He's definitely job #1 on the scout for opponents. He's been drawing the toughest defensive assignment as well in a lot of their games. And you mentioned Curtis Sumter. He actually came in and spoke to the team on Monday about all the expectations and playing at Villanova, talking about taking care of a lot of the little things that they may have been neglecting at times this year.
And that's always good to see a guy come back and speak to the team, a guy that's been there, has done it before.
Biggs gets the second one to go. 23-11. Pittsburgh with its biggest lead of this first half, under 5.5 to go.
And you could just look at the body language right now. Villanova doesn't have an aggressive body language. Pitt, on the other hand, does have an aggressive body language. Tough fall right there by Biggs, but he jumps up, pounds his chest. How about that?
Biggs hit the deck hard.
Is that guy tough or what?
The foul is going to be on Kasim Drummond, and that is his 3rd personal.
And as a player, you know, I can look out there and you can just tell which team is loose. Pittsburgh just looking loosey-goosey, looking like they're ready to play. You see right here, Scotty Reynolds hanging in the air right there. And tough fall by Biggs, but how about the chest slam?
Bounced right back up, ready to go. Pitt is 7 of 10 at the free throw line. Villanova has yet to attempt a free throw. As Drummond takes a seat. Replaced by Dwayne Anderson, the 6'6" junior from Washington, D.C.
You see right there, Villanova not getting to the line at all today. Pittsburgh taking advantage, getting to the paint, 8 for 11.
Another common thread, John, weaving through the Villanova league losses. The opposition has fared much better at the free throw line in all 4 of those defeats, and something that Jay Wright has tried to address with his club is to be a lot more aggressive. We've seen them taking the ball to the hoop frequently here in this first half. There's a whistle and a foul against Pittsburgh on the rebound.
You know, they're trying to establish a low post presence right now. They're trying to find their identity. I mean, most of the year they've been a team that, you know, has really gone off the dribble, knocked down a lot of jump shots. Now it seems to me like they're trying to dump the ball inside. I don't think, I talked to the coach, you know, they don't know where they want to, you know, try to focus on right now, just trying to find an identity and get the confidence going again.
Now, Pena will take their first free throw attempt. 65% on the season. Antonio's been coming on. He's scored in double figures in 4 of their last 6 games. And actually led them in scoring in the Notre Dame loss for 17.
And they're going to need him to step up. They're going to need him to establish that low post presence, as we talked about before. They don't know where their scoring is coming from. You know, when I was a junior, we lost 3 guys to the NBA, and Tim Thomas, Alvin Williams, and Jason Lawson. The next year, I was the only returning starter. We had no identity. Nobody knew who was the go-to guy. So we spent about 10 to 15 games trying to figure out what are we going to do. We're going to throw it inside. We're going to score from out top.
Under 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Benjamin handling. Biggs, no. Reynolds tracks down the loose ball. Open for the 3, no good from Corey Stokes. Pittsburgh now plus 12 on the glass in this first half. Benjamin off the bounce. Last touch by Anderson.
And neither team really lightening up from the field today. I think the difference right here is Pittsburgh has been attacking the glass. They are first in offensive rebounding in the conference.
7 rebounds already for Blair, who is out of the ball game right now.
You know, I've been pleasantly surprised by Pitt this year. I mean, I really wrote them off when they lost Fields and they lost Cook, but they've been doing a tremendous job. Ramos has been playing well.
Reynolds draws the foul, and he'll head to the line.
And Scotty Reynolds, you can see he's making a concerted effort right now. He says, look, I'm going to take this game over. We don't know where the scoring is coming from, so I have to go back and I have to push the envelope, as you want to say. You see him right here, driving to the basket. And he's one of the greatest guys in the conference at drawing contact. Really goes to the line a lot, knows how to use his body. I wouldn't say he has blazing quickness, but he's crafty, and he knows how to get to the bucket.
He's got good change of pace, too, to his game as he hits the free throw now with 7 points for the Big East Player of the Week last week. Benjamin open for 3, didn't get it. Knocked out of bounds to Villanova. So despite the fact they're shooting just 23%, Nova's hanging around.
If you got a real mess and want to clean like the pros, then you've got to see this. Hi, Billy Mays here with Zorbees, the most absorbent material I've ever used. It has the strength and the muscle to pick up and hold over 20 ounces of liquid. Look at this. Zorbees attracts liquid like a magnet. It doesn't matter if it's coffee, soda, even red wine. Watch as its powerful vacuum action pulls and cleans the stain from out of the carpet just that quick. The secret's in the X27 fiber technology, making Zorbees over 27 times more absorbent than cotton. Forget towels that just drip, and unlike sponges that smell, Zorbees is odor-free and leaves a path of clean. Now you can clean and dry and never leave anything behind. You'll be amazed at just how much they absorb. And they're machine washable. Dry your entire car, even your dog. Use any cleaner for streak-free windows. An average family uses up to 2 rolls of paper towels every week. That's cash in the trash. Save money and even help save the environment. You get 2 jumbo Zorbees plus 3 extra large for only $14.99. But call right now, and I'll send you another 5 Zorbees absolutely free. That's 10 Zorbees for only $14.99. And as a special bonus, we'll also include our Micromint microfiber duster, free. It's great for blinds, plants, glass, and more. And attracts dust like a magnet. That's a $60 value, all for only $14.99. And here's the best part. We'll send you a set of Zorbies free whenever you need them for life. Just pay shipping and processing. But you gotta call now.
To order Zorbies, call 1-800-896-6045. That's 1-800-896-6045. Don't delay. Call 1-800-896-6045 and order today.
I'm Mike Gleason. Coming up on the Sports Center U halftime report, Georgetown's at the Garden tonight, hoping things aren't quite as tight as their last two games. Bob Huggins faces the school that fired him and the coach who once left him. Plus, a big evening in the surprisingly potent Atlantic 10. Right now, let's go back to Beth and John.
Thank you very much, Mike. 24-16, Pittsburgh leading Villanova. Under 4 minutes to go. Nova just 6 of 26 so far in this first half. That's something that Scotty Reynolds was working on today. Trying to force the foul on that big high hedge from Blair, and they draw his second personal.
You see Villanova struggling from the field. Just, you have to give the credit to Pittsburgh. Doing a tremendous job guarding the pick and roll, tremendous job in help position. And even when Villanova does get an open look, here comes somebody flying into your screen, blocking shots.
And with his second foul, we probably will not see Blair for the next 3 minutes and 41 seconds. As Reynolds hits the free throw. 9 points to lead all scorers in this first half.
And, you know, Villanova has not played a great game tonight, but with that said, Pittsburgh has not played particularly well offensively either. And they're only down 7 points, Villanova, right now, so it's still a game for both teams.
Close to 3.5 minutes now without a point for the Panthers, who are only shooting 31% themselves. Brown, nice backdoor, count it. And give the assist to Sam Young.
And that's just tremendous offensive execution right there. Nice screen, set play, wide open layup. Watch the back screen right here. And we can't see in the screen, but right there, Fisher trailing and one. Obviously somebody didn't bump on the cut, and that kills a coach. That kills a coach when things like that happen. Trust me, I know.
Brown, the redshirt freshman from Harrisburg, converts on the free throw. Coming off his career high of 16 points in the Rutgers loss. Back up to a 10-point advantage. Stokes, high off the glass, no. Offensive rebound, won't go for Payne. He'll have another opportunity and finishes.
And Payne, you're cleaning things up out there, being a garbage man. Trying to give Villanova some firepower down low. You see Villanova still struggling. Even when they score, they're working.
Wanamaker thought about it. Now Young off the bounce, good.
And that's just nice body control right there by Young. He just looks cool. He just looks smooth tonight.
Close to 20 a game in his last 8 outings is Sam Young.
You have to love when a guy just improves like Young has done over the past year. And right there, tap in.
He's tipped by Anderson now.
Anderson's an energy guy. He's a guy who he can come in the game and he can fill it up. He won't play a lot, but he'll come in and he'll do the dirty work. He'll get you some tap-ins, get you some steals. Very important player for the Villanova Wildcats.
Drawing the assignment right now of defending on Young, and another turnover. That's the 11th of this first half for Pittsburgh. ESPNU delivers women's college basketball Thursday night. It's Loyola Marymount taking on San Diego. Women's college hoops presented by Buffalo Wild Wings as part of Student Spirit Week presented by EAS on ESPNU Thursday at 11 Eastern. Coming up on a minute and a half to go in the first here at the Peterson Event Center. Pittsburgh has been leading throughout. the spin. Pena baseline off the side of the backboard. Sam Young now on the run. 3-on-2 Nova. Wanamaker. And a charge taken by Reynolds.
And fans don't like that. The fans do not like that call.
That's the third charge taken in this first half for Villanova.
Let's see right here. Scotty Reynolds said, I don't know about that call. I think he may have moved a little bit. But hey, we're not the Zebras, so the other way with it.
Reynolds gonna pull up, no. Young secures the rebound. Still plus 10 on the glass in this first half for Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh just forcing Villanova into tough shots. I mean, unless you're really hot, you can't get back in the game taking pull-up threes like that.
Timeout Pittsburgh with 39 seconds to go in this first half. Up 29-21 on Villanova. Let's take a look around the rest of the country, see what's going on. You got a couple of undefeateds on the road, and boy, Michigan State's playing very well off to their best start ever.
Tom Izzo has it going again. Maybe we'll see him back in the Final Four, Elite Eight. And look at that schedule up there, Kansas versus Kansas State. That's a big-time game tonight. How about Michael Beasley? I still think he is the top player for next year's draft. This guy is rebounding machine. He can score the basketball. Very impressive. Very impressive freshman.
And the drought, they have lost 24 straight at home to Kansas. They'd like to change that around tonight.
And how about Memphis? I love Derrick Rose. I think he's, you know, reminds me of a young Stephon Marbury, one of the fastest point guards in the country. And Douglas Roberts, man, he has an old school game. He can score all over the floor.
Ramon finding Wanamaker on the skip. Won't go. Villanova will have its shot clock is off. Fisher, good dish to Pena for the jam.
And Villanova needed that right there. They've made a concerted effort to get that ball to Pena. He went 8 for 9 from the field against Notre Dame.
One-tenth of a second left on the game clock. And I believe the call is that Villanova blocked it off the back of the backboard. It will be Pittsburgh basketball.
And with 1/10 of a second, you have to get a tap, and it may be not enough time for even that.
Villanova's going to get Drummond into the game. Get a little size there. Thrown off of Fisher.
Ramon with the heady play right there. And that will end the half.
Pittsburgh, who led by as many as 13 in that first half, are up by just 6 going into the locker room. Reynolds with 9, Blair with 6 points and 7 rebounds. And Villanova, that's the fewest points they've scored in a half all season, but they find themselves right in the middle of it still. 29-23 the score. Here's Melissa Knowles.
Coach, how are you able to contain Villanova's offense during that first half?
I thought we played hard. We got after defensively. We did a good job keeping them on the front, but we got to continue to do a good job. We turned it over a little bit too much, obviously, in this first half, so got to take our pain, have some patience, and then make good decisions.
Any changes at halftime?
Yeah, well, we got to get our guys out there in foul trouble, get them out there, and got a little more patience offensively.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck. Back to you, Beth.
Thank you very much. Brown and Blair both had a couple of fouls each. 12 turnovers for Pittsburgh in that first half, but they've got the 6-point lead at the half.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sports Center U Halftime Report. Flanked here by ACC Greatness. It's Drew Berry, Adrian Branch. I'm Mike Gleason. Great to have you with us. Important, very important second half for Villanova. They don't have a senior on that team. If they lose this game, that's going to be 3 straight. A lot of freshmen on the team starts playing mind games with these guys if you get into a skid.
Yeah, definitely. When you have young players and a conference as tough as the Big East, you certainly don't want to get on a 3-game skid, especially losing this game here. You know, I think Scotty Reynolds is playing really well. Both teams are struggling right now. I think defense defense is probably the reason why Pitt is playing a little bit better and has the lead at half. But I think Villanova can be happy where they're standing, seeing how bad they've played in the first half.
Absolutely, and when you have Blair in foul trouble, you want to continue to attack him, keep penetration out the middle. You heard Dixon say that at the end of the half. They've got to pound it down low, but the key players for both teams are doing their thing. Blair is rebounding, and, of course, Scotty Reynolds is scoring points, so it's business as usual.
I said ACC greatness with you guys. I didn't mention NBA, but you gave me a look.
No,
I
didn't. No, I didn't.
All right, Georgetown, number 1 in the Big East, of course, number 6 in the polls, on the road at St. John's in the Garden. Jesse Sapp takes it in for the score, 8-2 Hoyas. Sapp, of course, hit that big 3 in the last game at West Virginia.
You can see here he spots up, great find. Just when you get your feet set like that and you're wide open, you're supposed to knock that down if you're playing in college basketball.
Patrick Ewing Jr. had the block, and now he's hitting threes.
Well, you look at it, St. John's doesn't have a lot of manpower right here, full court press, and Georgetown is doing what they want inside and out.
Hibbert with the jam. Jeremiah Rivers struggling with his outside shot, but that's not outside. Takes it to the rack. And right now, the Georgetown Hoyas all over St. John's, 35-10. You see Sapp right there with 9 points. Not an athletic team, overly athletic early in the season, guys, but it seems like more and more. You got Sapp and Freeman, and, of course, DeJuan Summers becoming more athletic.
It's all about the system, and it's equal opportunity. These guys have 4 scores in double figures. It's a balanced attack, and defense, they're spectacular.
All right, guys, the next game here, Cincinnati, West Virginia. I wouldn't mind having a ticket. Look at Bob Huggins, the outfit there, as he faces his old team, the Bearcats.
What is that suit there, Gleese? His shoes match it, too.
Deontay Vaughn, the only Bearcat averaging in double figures, hits a 3. Bearcats up early. Vaughn with a deep 3. And the Bearcats playing pretty well on the road.
Yeah, the Bearcats came out aggressive and played really well. One thing for the Bearcats is that West Virginia's shooting 20%. That's not going to keep you in the ball game. But West Virginia's at home. They're playing hard. They'll still stick in the game. I think this will be a close game.
26% for the Mountaineers. Cincinnati, 52%. You see the numbers, 34-23. Cincinnati already with 4 wins in the Big East. They had 2 all of last year. All right, guys, 12 years Bob Huggins has had 25 or more wins. He's not only playing Cincinnati, the school that fired him. Mick Cronin left him. He was with him for 5 years, went to Rick Pitino in Louisville. What kind of day did Bob Huggins have today?
Well, you look at it, the emotional part of it. The players want to play well for him because they know that he made his legend at Cincinnati. I think the second half, you'll look at them settling down. When you're only shooting 20%, that means you're fired up. You're missing shots that you normally hit.
Yeah, definitely. I think the guys really want to win this game for Coach Huggins. I think, when you look at Cincinnati, they're playing really well. I don't think teams thought that they were going to be as aggressive and as good as they've been playing. But I think when it's all said and done, this team really wants to win for Coach Huggins, get this win. You never want to lose, to a team that you once coached at.
So in a nutshell, then, shooting 26%, they were just overly jacked up going into the game, or what's the problem?
Absolutely. Again, but the thing is, 20 minutes, you'll settle down. They'll get into their routine. Look for them to pound it inside. Look for Alexander to have a huge game, too, trying to drive in, draw fouls.
Yeah, definitely. You got to get Alexander the ball. He's probably their best player. And, I think right now, maybe a little jittery, maybe, wanting to go out there and win so bad. Maybe the second half they settle down and get this game close and hopefully pull it out.
And it's huge with the suit, man. It's a special occasion.
DC busted out that suit.
Yeah, definitely looked brand new right out of the box. But right now, Cincinnati on top of West Virginia in Morgantown. Well, coming up next on the SportsCenter halftime report, the A-10. Xavier sits on top of the ladder, but St. Joe's, Charlotte just a half game back. UMass and Duquesne facing each other, needing a win to stay in the hunt.
The power of Villanova. Innovation. Discovery. Community. Inspiration. Excellence. The power of Villanova University.
Hi, I'm Magic Johnson. Welcome to the fundamentals of basketball.
To be the best, you have to learn from the best. That's why basketball legend Magic Johnson has assembled the greatest team of all-star players and coaches to help players everywhere improve their skills and knowledge of the sport. The Magic Fundamentals comprehensive video is filled with everything you need to know to increase your points, assists, rebounds, and understanding of the game of basketball.
We all are looking to get better, and this tape will make you better if you practice the drills over and over again. You don't have to go to camp. I'm bringing camp right to you.
Take the first step to becoming a great basketball player with Magic Fundamentals on 2 DVDs. Order now and get Magic's conditioning DVD free. That's over 2 hours of basketball instruction plus the conditioning DVD for 2 payments of only $19.99. And when you call, ask how you can own Magic's Fundamentals for kids and advanced DVD programs. Call the number on your screen now or order online at magicjohnsondvd.com. Rush delivery available.
Well, St. Joe's at GW. St. Joe's a half game behind Xavier in the A-10 standings. Pat Calathis knocks down the 3 ball.
Coming off that huge game winner against Temple, you know he's playing with confidence.
Colonials come out with the steal. Winton Witherspoon with the flush. George Washington cuts the lead to 1. Late in the first half, Colonials by 2. Cheyenne Moore.
When you get a look like that, you got to knock it down. Great screen right there. Recognition by the point guard to give him the ball. Great job of screening him and opening the man for a wide-open shot.
Ooh, look at this, 31-30. St. Joe's, I mentioned, only a half game back of Xavier at the top of the A-10. And the Dayton Flyers by 10 over St. Louis. Brian Gregory's squad, 14-4. They've now slipped to 2-3 in conference play. They've been struggling 3 straight losses. Let's talk, okay, A-10 as a whole. Xavier sitting on top. Of course, they have wins over Indiana, Cincinnati, Kansas State, and Virginia. You talk about some of the other top teams on that list: Providence, Syracuse, Pittsburgh, Wake, Clemson, Louisville. All these schools have suffered losses to the A-10. Your thoughts on the conference?
Well, I think the A-10 has been playing very well this year. We talked earlier and a few shows ago about how many teams did we see getting into the tournament, and we said 3, possibly 4, with UMass sneaking in there. I think Xavier right now is the team that is, you know, the lead of the class. They're playing extremely well. St. Joe's is playing well now. Rhode Island has been a really good surprise at 17-3. So they're playing difficult teams and they're winning difficult ball games, which is impressive for that conference.
Well, right now the crown jewel is definitely Xavier. They let you know. They say we are the team to beat. We're a very good team. And right now they can talk because everybody's healthy. You look at Dayton, they were depleted with their injuries. Of course, Chris Wright, a young, outstanding freshman, got injured. Brian Roberts has had his highs and his lows coming off of viruses and codes and double teams. So right now Xavier is the crown jewel in that league.
And, of course, we were sitting here one night, the night that Dayton pounded Pittsburgh by 20 or 30 points. So if Brian Gregory gets his guys back in full force, they still have a month to go. They're going to be okay for the dance?
Well, it's all about momentum, and you want to peak going into February, going into the tournament. So the injury bug, the adjustment, freshmen all of a sudden have the playing experience of a sophomore because they've been through the league one time around.
Well, I like Dayton, and I had them making the tournament. They've had some injuries, and people have been sick, but Roberts is a tremendous player. I think that they're one of the 3 teams that makes it in for the Atlantic 10.
Xavier mentioned sitting on top. You had mentioned you'd give them kudos to those guys. The X-Men, though, they came on strong. They weren't so strong early. Surprising, or you just expected these guys to be where they are right now?
Well, they're making their adjustments. In this league, again, as you talk about the entirety of this league, they're competitive. Even a team like Duquesne, you have to come out and play hard against because Ron Evermart has his guys playing hard. So you can't take any team, any nights off with this team. Again, keep an eye on Rhode Island. I like Will Daniels and Jimmy Barron, his coach's son, shooting it from 3. That's a good combination.
All right, guys, let's go to a conference you're very familiar with, the ACC. Virginia has dropped 5 out of 6, now hit the road at Maryland. Eric Hayes outside, that's a 3-ball, 7-2 Terrapins on top. Now it's 10-2. Grievous Vasquez steps outside of the launching pad.
Well, they're a good team when they're not turning the ball over. Defensively, Maryland can always be competitive, but against Duke, they faltered because they got tired, turned it over, missed shots.
Sean Singletary, averaging about 18-6 in ACC play. And Vasquez.
Yeah, Vasquez, he's a great shooter when he's got his feet set. And like Adrian said, Maryland's a good team when they're not turning the ball over. Vasquez has a tendency to get a little out of control.
Speaking of good teams, how about the Memphis Tigers? They take on Houston down in Texas today.
Get big arms, a ripped chest, and cut abs with the Perfect Push-Up. The Perfect Push-Up works with the natural rotation of your arms and shoulders to maximize results and minimize stress on your body. With the Perfect Push-Up, your hands, arms, and shoulders rotate 90 degrees, just like in a punch. All the energy of a push-up is captured and transmitted right where you want it, to the muscles. There's no wasted effort, just muscle-building movement. And as your arms rotate, you feel it work in your biceps, your triceps, your chest and abs, and your shoulders. Invented by a U.S. Navy SEAL and made with steel and a ball-bearing movement, it's the push-up perfected. So here's the deal. The Perfect Push-Up is only 2 payments of $19.95. When you order, you'll receive 2 Perfect Push-Up rotational handles, and you'll also receive the Navy SEAL-inspired Perfect Push-Up workout chart. You'll be ripped in no time. Get big fast. Call right now for the perfect push-up.
Call 1-800-543-0427.
I came to the University of Pittsburgh to learn with the best.
At Pitt, we become better students.
We learn that education extends beyond the classroom.
At the University of Pittsburgh, we learn how to explore and discover.
And how to gain knowledge from every experience.
If we're known by the company we keep, then at the University of Pittsburgh, we're among the best.
Well, coming up at 9 o'clock tonight here on the U, it's Give and Go, our show that brings you the best finishes, the most compelling matchups. Drew, Adrian, and I are in the studio. You're jumping from game to game. We take you to the tightest games possible on Give and Go, coming up at 9 o'clock here on ESPNU. All right, Georgia and South Carolina from the SEC. The Georgia Bulldogs could climb over 500 league play. South Carolina leads it. Devin Downey averaging 22 in SEC play. Too bad he didn't stay at Cincinnati, guys. And how about Wofford and Davidson? Davidson 11-0 in the Southern Conference, trailing Wofford by 1 right now. Coming up at 9 o'clock tonight, Kansas State has a shot at number 2 Kansas, but Kansas State junior forward Andre Gilbert has been suspended indefinitely for violation of team rules by head coach Frank Martin. Like every member of our team, he has to understand that there are consequences when you fail to follow the rules, Martin was quoted as saying. Gilbert, who has started 13 games for the Wildcats, was averaging over 5 points a game, so K-State joins UConn and Missouri in the new trend of suspensions. Missouri, of course, Mike Anderson suspending 5 of his players after the leading scorer, Hanna, broke his jaw. He's up in Chicago recovering there. So you look at Kansas State now, and, of course, Missouri with 5 players, including Leo Lyons, who had 22 in the last game. How does that affect the landscape of the Big 12?
Well, I think it doesn't affect the Big 12 overall because Missouri was middle of the pack, 2-3 in the conference. But, you know, the big 4, I like to say, is Texas, Texas A&M. You've got Kansas, and then Kansas State, you know, you could throw them in there as the 4th. But I think that conference, to me, top to bottom, has been the most impressive conference this year. And, you know, Missouri losing their players, it's tough for them. It's maybe good for those top 4 because now Missouri coming off that big win against Colorado, maybe playing a little bit better. But, you know, it doesn't really affect the standings too much.
Well, you would call it slippage. Right now, there's been slippage. Guys get relaxed. The season gets comfortable. They get into a routine. And unfortunately, you learn by mistakes. These guys have made mistakes, let their teams down, let their community down, their alumni. Again, you have to make that adjustment. You have to own up to those consequences. Also, with the league, as far as with the league and the top teams, Kansas State. Also, one you forgot, Baylor. One of my favorite
they're
teams,
the sneak,
Baylor.
and they're surprising in there.
So they're a tough team. They had that 5 overtime win against A&M. So the top team, it won't affect the league like that.
And speaking of tough teams, the Memphis Tigers, number 1 in the country. They go down to Houston. Memphis 5-0 in Conference USA. Houston 4-0. Few give the Cougars a shot in this ball game. What are some of the keys?
Well, just another double-digit win for Memphis. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, they're just too strong. You know, I know that Houston's playing well. They're undefeated in the conference. Tom Penner's looking for 600, but, you know, they've got just too many players, too many athletes, and they're playing too well right now to lose this ball game. I don't think this is going to be a contest.
Yeah, you look at what Memphis is able to do. They're able to turn you over. They're able to block shots. Joey Dorsey, their premier defensive anchor, can block a shot and finish with a dunk. So these guys are workmanlike, and they're professional in their approach.
What about the Cougars? Of course, Rob McIver averaging just under 20 points for these guys.
Well, he's going to have a huge game if Houston's looking to try to steal this one away from the Memphis Tigers. But, you know, Houston, they're playing well, and they're doing a good job. But this is just a team that's, I think, too talented and too deep for them to take on.
Well, emotionally, they'll be up for it as well. Tom Penders is going for his 600 win, so emotionally, they'll be fine. But
quickly, guys, John Calipari said Monday night on Inside the Polls, he said they're not going to worry about running the table unless they're in the national championship game. Do you see anyone giving them a shot as far as knocking those guys out?
Well, I don't think in conference play they're going to see anyone that's going to challenge them. I think that their biggest test is going to come in probably 2nd, 3rd round, 4th round of the NCAA tournament.
And you have to show up and compete, so everyone has an opportunity, but they might not finish the right way.
All right, second half coming up from Pittsburgh and Villanova. Pittsburgh, DeJuan Blair, 2 of his 6 points to help Pittsburgh to the first half lead. Enjoy it. We'll be back with Give and Go at 9.
The champions of college basketball. On a side, fading away, firing. three-pointer. It's over. It's over. The Orange have won it. Syracuse has won the national championship.
3 times a champion, UConn wins the NCAA women's title for 2004.
Here at the phone company, you've been our customer for a long time. Now Vonage wants to change all that.
Well, over 2 million people have already switched to Vonage.
Oh, really? Don't they miss having phone service?
Actually, with Vonage, you get the #1 rated digital phone service with unlimited local and long-distance calls for just $24.99 a month. What do you charge?
It's simple, really. It starts with different basic rates, long-distance fees, and of course, different packages have different features, and some
Vonage has over 25 features, and they're included for no extra charge.
For me, Vonage is everything I want in a phone service.
It's dependable. It's perfect.
No nickels and dimes like the phone company.
Sign up now with Vonage and get 1 month free. Enjoy clear digital phone sound quality using your high-speed internet connection.
Okay, but making a change is hard, and for over 100 years, the only thing we've changed is...
Your prices?
Whoa!
Call 1-800-657-4866 or go online to betterwaytophone.com.
Presented by EAS. Pittsburgh with the lead over Villanova at the half, 29-23. Beth Mowins along with John Celestin. And John, neither side really able to get too much going on the offensive end.
Yeah, it's been a struggle offensively. Both teams not shooting the basketball that well, but Pittsburgh has out-rebounded Villanova. But look at Villanova. They're a second-half team, so we have to look and see what can happen. Rutgers came back on Pitt last game.
All right, we're set to start out this second half of play with the Pitt Panthers coming off that home loss against Rutgers, trying to get back on track here at the Peterson Event Center, and Villanova trying to snap that 2-game losing skid. Both sides under 40% from the floor. Big Pittsburgh rebounding advantage. And similar to that first game, John, turnovers are an issue for them.
Yeah, both teams have been just throwing the basketball away. And what's surprising is that Pitt is only 2 for 8 from three-point range. They're one of the better three-point shooting teams in the conference.
Very similar to their first meeting, which was a 1-point win for Villanova in Philadelphia earlier this month. Reynolds will inbound. He's out there with Fisher, Pena, Redding, and Cunningham in their road blue jerseys. Redding inside to Pena, and they score on the first possession.
And you see right there, Villanova just looked like a totally different team right there on the first possession. Fluid ball movement. They look confident. They seem to have some energy.
Young, Ramon, Blair, Benjamin, and Brown out there to start this second half for Pittsburgh. And Ramon counters with the 3.
Yeah, he's one of the leading three-point shooters in Pittsburgh history. He can really do it. He led the Big East in three-point shooting as a sophomore.
Now with 199 three-pointers in his career. Reynolds takes the handoff, looks to go baseline. Fisher to Cunningham. Another opportunity, and Dante finishes.
And Villanova just looks a little more active than Pitt right now early in the beginning of the second half. So let's pay attention. Now Pitt has to be careful right here. They let Rutgers come back last game.
They had the big lead. Rutgers dominated them in the second half for the stunning road win, the biggest road win over a ranked opponent in Rutgers history, and that was hot on the heels of their win against Villanova at home earlier in the week. Let's check in right now with Melissa Knowles, who spoke with Jay Wright.
Thanks, Beth. Coach Wright told me that his team is playing with a little bit too much excitement, and he wants them to compose themselves during the second part. He likes their aggression, and he thinks that their offense really needs to step up and make those layups and make those drives. He also said on defense, they've got to rebound better, get that ball, and take it back down the court score. Guys.
Fisher, no good. Blair snares that loose ball. And then the strip the other way. Pena up strong right at DeJuan Blair for the lay-in.
You just see the energy. You see Villanova getting out in transition. I think they're a better transition team than half-court team. When you force some turnovers, you can get out and run.
Cats are looking downright offensive here in the first 2.5 minutes.
Go, baby!
Let's take a look at him going from the offensive end to the defensive to offensive.
You see Fisher poking the basketball away, and then they're just pushing it up the floor, giving it up to Pena. He's finishing on the break. And Coach Wright talked about when they score offensively, that's when they start to play defense. You have to find a way to be able to play defense even when the offense is not clicking if you want to be a top team in this conference.
Pena picks up his second foul. Brown at the free throw line. Redshirted a year ago and worked himself back into the lineup, has now started the last 8 games, playing close to 30 minutes a night.
Some people consider him the most athletic perimeter player in the country out of prep school.
Reynolds pass deflected by Ramon. Good takeaway by the Panthers.
See right here, Pittsburgh composing himself, trying to run a set. You see Coach Jamie Dixon making sure they get a good shot right here.
It's been a while since the big fellas had a touch near the hoop. Ramon steps away for the 3. Good tap back by Brown to keep it alive.
And the offensive rebound there by Pitt, but I don't think that they want to take a wild shot like Ramon just shot right there. I think you may want to get the ball to DeJuan Blair, give the big fella a touch.
Benjamin got it.
And Benjamin says, shut up, Celestin. He doesn't need a touch. Give me a touch. I'll take it to the basket. I'll finish it.
They get the points in the paint anyways. 7 points now. And it's back up to a 6-point lead. Pena tries to muscle it up. Runs into Blair, and the offensive foul is going to be called on Pena on the rebound.
And Pena's a strong offensive player. He's very strong, good upper body, but you're running into a guy, DeJuan Blair, who is a rock. Long arms, good defensively.
And that is the 3rd personal on Pena. There you see Blair, believe it or not, dropped 30 pounds after his high school senior season.
I can't imagine trying to move him in the paint with 30 extra pounds.
Here he is with the catch, and foul going up for the jam by Redding.
Look at the joy he plays with. Excited out there. You have to love guys like that.
That's the 3rd now on Redding. Blair at the line when we come back.
Hi, Manager Armstrong.
Brad, have you ever ridden a bike for 23 straight days?
No.
If you had, you'd know how good something feels when it's nice and flat. You ready? Every second counts. Go. No, no, no. Like a blacksmith to the forge. Let iron sharpen iron.
The Nike Live Strong collection is at Dick's Sporting Goods, the home of Nike training.
Are you ready for the max? Are you ready for the max?
We're always ready for the max. I'm ready for the max.
Take your car to the max with quality Conoco gasoline. It's specially formulated to help clean fuel injectors in just 5 tanks to help reduce emissions and maximize mileage.
Are you ready for the max?
Are you ready for the max?
Help maximize your mileage with Conoco. Take it to the max.
If you've got piles of brush and branches to get rid of, DR has the answer. Introducing the all-new DR Rapid Feed Chipper. Fire it up, feed it a branch, and here's the nifty part, just walk away. That's right, the DR Rapid Feed Chipper will self-feed just about any branch up to 5.5 inches thick and top discharge the chips wherever you want. By the time the DR is done chipping one branch, you're ready to start the next. So don't waste time and energy with just any chipper. Get the job done fast, done easy, done right with a DR Rapid Feed chipper.
Call 1-800-425-1004 for your free DR Chipper catalog and DVD. You'll learn how you can try a DR Chipper for 6 months risk-free. There's no obligation, so call now. 1-800-425-1004. Online at drchipper.com.
DR is professional power for homeowners.
National Signing Day. A full day of coverage begins next Wednesday at noon on ESPNU.
ESPNU's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. 35-29 Pitt with the lead over Villanova, and DeJuan Blair with his first touch going to work inside.
And watch Blair right here. You see, they bring the ball down, and you see Pena right here. He loses contact of Blair, and he sneaks right in there, and he posts up. And once he gets right there, it's just a wrap. You can't stop him when he's that deep in the paint. I mean, he's just a tremendous freshman prospect from the city right here. He can post up. He's active. He plays with confidence. I like guys that smile, that have fun. Reminds me of a young Elton Brand when he was at Duke. I played against Elton Brand, and he was a monster. We went down to Cameron Indoor and got blown out of the water. And I'll never forget, he was in help. He was blocking shots, and he was posting up like a beast. And he were, Blair reminded me of Mr. Brand from back in the day.
Count 1 of 2, and then.
And I think Blair may get another free throw right here.
DeJuan's got 7 points, 9 rebounds. He's got a couple of steals and has turned it over 3 times.
And you have to be excited if you're Coach Dixon. You have to be excited to have a guy like him. You're going to have him around for a couple of more years. Maybe you can bring some other talent out of the Pittsburgh area. The first guy to sign from the city in years. I mean, the last guy was Darryl Porter. That was back in 1987. And I talked to Coach Dixon. He said not a lot of talent has come out of the city in the past couple of years.
Out of Shenley High School, won a state championship. Redding got it to go.
And that's a nice look inside off of a nice play drawn up by Jay Wright right there. Little pick and roll action. Hitting Redding for the layup.
Redding, Cunningham, and Drummond each have 3 fouls for Villanova. Blair lost the handle, kicks it back out. Young won't go. Pena came back down with it's going to be called for the walk.
And both guys going for the rebound right there, and Redding had just pulled Pena down right there.
Pena, the leading scorer with 10 points so far for Villanova, leading all scorers.
And this has been a game for most of the night. You just had no flow. Neither team really getting out, making a run. Neither team looking crisp on offense, but you may want to give some credit to the defensive job by both teams.
Pittsburgh led by as many as 13 in that first half. Here in the second, Villanova drawing as close as 3 points. And Young lost it out of bounds. Young so far just 2 of 8. He's been held to 5 points on the night by the Nova defense. Reynolds attacking, fouled by Ramon. That will be the second foul on Ronald.
And that's the good thing about Scotty Reynolds. He's somebody who can create something out of nothing. I mean, he's driving right there, really nowhere to go, but he has a strong body, knows how to draw a foul. Reminds me of Andre Miller from Utah back in the day. He was a guy who can get in the paint, playing for the Philadelphia 76ers now. Draw contact, dish the basketball as well.
Hits on the first. He only took 3 foul shots in the game against Pitt the first time around. That's a season low for Scotty. He's very good off the dribble, getting to the free throw line, and here comes some pressure after the make. This was pretty effective in that game on January 6th.
Yeah, Pitt, one of the better teams in the conference at not turning the basketball over. They lead the conference in assist to turnover ratio as a team. But Villanova rallied them last game. That's one of their first games without Fields in the lineup.
Benjamin looking for three. Reynolds will push. He'll pull up for the triple. Got it.
And you don't want to let him get going. You don't want to get him going. Because if he gets hot, it could be a long night.
They're feeling a little deja vu here in Peterson. The big lead is gone. It's a one-point game with Reynolds dropping the triple from deep.
How many expensive disposable razors or blades do you throw away every year? 30, 50, more? Isn't it time you got the one razor you can use forever? The Infinity Razor. Twin blades forged from carbon-injected steel and fused with rugged tungsten carbide for a razor that never loses its edge. In fact, if the Infinity Razor ever stops giving you a smooth, comfortable shave, we'll replace it free.
I've been using my Infinity Razor for 5 months.
Even after we use this Infinity Razor to shave this sandpaper clean, it can still shave this delicate balloon.
Shh, don't tell my husband. But I use his Infinity Razor all the time, and he doesn't even notice.
No more dragging, no more nicking, because Infinity is the one razor that stays sharp forever to give you a lifetime of smooth, comfortable shaves.
The Infinity Razor is the best razor I've ever used, and the best money I've ever spent.
How much does it cost for the last razor you'll ever buy? Just $19.95. Plus, call today and we'll include a second Infinity Razor absolutely free. It's perfect for traveling. Or since you'll never need another Infinity Razor, you can give one to a friend.
I bought the Infinity Razor for my guy, and I loved his smooth, close shave so much, I had to buy one for myself.
Now she won't have to because you'll get a second Infinity Razor free. And that's still not all. Call now and you'll also get the Razor Sharp Infinity Micro Trimmer, a $15 value, absolutely free. Plus this fogless mirror, a $20 value. That's a total value of over $74. Yours for only $19.95. You'll also get 2 guarantees, a 30-day money-back satisfaction guarantee, and our exclusive lifetime replacement guarantee.
So call 1-800-239-2146 now for the last razor you'll ever buy, the amazing Lifetime Infinity Razor for $19.95 plus shipping. Call 1-800-239-2146 and get a second Infinity Razor, the Infinity Micro Trimmer, and our fogless mirror free. That's 1-800-239-2146. Call now.
Score. I'm trying to look through this, but
37-36 Pittsburgh with the lead over Villanova, but the Cats coming back here in the second half behind 63% shooting from the floor.
I mean, we talked about in the open of the second half that they're a second half team. They've done it a lot of times this year. I don't know if Coach Wright is as comfortable with the comeback story all the time, but this is the way they've been playing.
Down by 13 in that first half. And for Pittsburgh, boy, they got to be thinking, hey, we had the big lead on Rutgers and lost it in the second half in our last game here at home. And now here comes Villanova.
Pitt has to find a way to get the ball back inside to Blair, start attacking the glass again. But right now, Villanova going 2-3 zone, and that may slow them down from getting the ball inside.
Blair is over in the short corner right now. 5 on the shot clock. Benjamin out of bounds. Pittsburgh will keep it with 1 second on the shot clock.
And can you tell the difference in the body language right now? You see how quick the Villanova players are moving. You see the Pitt players walking around now. It's just a total change, a shift of momentum. Looks like 2 total different teams in the second half.
Ramon looking for 3, no. Had to try and beat the shot clock buzzer. And now Reynolds. Count the basket. Villanova takes the lead, and Scotty's going to the line.
And that's just a vintage Scotty Reynolds move right there. I mean, really nothing there. Pushes it, forces you to commit and play defense, and he gets the and one right there. And I don't know how he made that shot. Watch right here. Pushes it up. He has you backpedaling. Nothing you can do. Foul, off the glass, and one.
Reynolds can't convert, but it's a 1-point Nova lead.
If I'm Coach Dixon right now, I'm looking inside to Blair this possession. I'm getting the basketball to my horse.
That, by the way, was the 3rd personal foul on Ramon. So he's on the floor right now with 3. As is Reggie Redding for Villanova. Young probes baseline. Lost the handle. Biggs, foul.
And Pitt being relentless right there. Making sure they get the ball inside. Villanova looking like Pitt looked in the first half, in position, in the help, even right there. Pitt struggling to get that shot off.
They're on a 9-0 run right now as Villanova to grab the lead. For up-to-the-minute news for everything that is college sports, log on to ESPNU.com. If you don't have ESPNU, be sure to log on to ESPNU.com and type in your zip code at the top of the page or call your local cable operator or satellite provider. Log on to ESPNU.com today.
And basketball is such a game of runs, and you're seeing that right here. I mean, Pittsburgh struggling a little bit in this second half. Villanova looking like a new team, and it can change in the next 2 or 3 minutes. That's the thing about basketball, especially in the Big East.
So Cunningham sits down at 6'8", their tallest guy, depending on whether or not Drummond can return with those 4 fouls. Into the lane, Stokes won't go. Fisher's got it. Nice no look. And the foul on the dunk attempt, Anderson to the line.
And the difference right now, Villanova just a step quicker than Pittsburgh. The same plays that Pittsburgh was making in the first half, now Villanova's making them. You see right there, Fisher with the no look, putting a little razzle-dazzle in the pass right there. Anderson trying for the dunk, for the exclamation point.
Wayne's just a 55% free throw shooter, missing on the first.
And Coach Jay Wright, he knows his team. You know, we talked earlier. He said, listen, when we score the basketball, you see our defensive intensity pick up. And that's what's happening right here. They came out the first possession of the second half. They scored a bucket. They scored the next possession down. And now you see them getting out defensively. We have to see if Pitt can handle the pressure now and turn things back around in their favor.
Beth Mowens, John Celestin, Melissa Knowles here at the Peterson Event Center, where Pittsburgh has lost just 9 times in 5 years and fighting to make sure they don't lose for a second time in a row. A 6-point halftime lead is gone. Pittsburgh has tied, or Villanova has tied things up here at 38. Scotty Reynolds leading all scorers with 16 points for the Wildcats.
And with Blair out of the game, they really don't have a go-to guy right here, with the exception of Sam Young.
Young, his runner goes.
And with that said, Young with the nice crossover. He never rushes on offense. Always smooth. He's athletic. He can get in the lane. He can elevate over top of you.
Young now with 7 points on 3 of 9 shooting on the night.
They need some more out of Young, more production.
Fisher spinning, had it blocked. Second one was stripped. Stokes goes up over the top of McGee and is called for the offensive foul. The charge taken by Terrell Biggs. Pittsburgh with the lead, but Scotty Reynolds has Nova getting it going here in the second half. Outside, inside, the sophomore bringing the Cats back.
From a guy's perspective, it's very difficult to kind of verbalize some things.
It's very difficult to sit down and describe yourself in, 3 to 4 sentences.
Dating sites give you a picture and a paragraph. At eHarmony, we do the matching for you based on 29 dimensions of compatibility. And right now, you can log on to eHarmony.com and review your matches all for free. Aren't you curious to see who you're compatible with?
Love is pure joy.
eHarmony.com. Log on today.
ESPNU brings you college sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The passion, the anticipation, the excitement.
Wide open, touchdown!
Every season.
This is for 3, count it.
Every reason to watch.
That's gonna do it.
Every sport, all year round. Tomorrow night at 8:30, men's hockey and Armed Forces face-off, Air Force versus Army. Then at 11, the women hit the hardwood, Loyola Marymount versus San Diego. ESPNU, always in season.
Paying for college? A lot harder than I imagined.
I have a scholarship, but I still need more. For books, lab fees.
It costs so much.
I am glad I found a Strive.
A Strive?
A Strive.
Loans for students like me.
My parents co-signed, so I got a better rate. $10,000.
$40,000.
I got my money in about a week.
A check in my name. In just about a week.
I chose to defer payments until after I graduate. Either way, I build my credit history.
I got the money I need now.
I bought a new laptop. I'm paying for room and board.
When you've done your homework but you still need more money, there's a Strive Student Loans. Up to $40,000 a year just by calling or going online now. You can apply in as few as 15 minutes, get your money in about a week, and you don't have to pay a cent until after you graduate.
Check it out. Definitely, I would tell people to check it out.
If you're like me,
you need an option. A Strive is a great option.
Call 1-800-429-1941 or go online at strive121.com.
40-38, Pittsburgh with the 2-point lead over Villanova, 11:38 to go, and Melissa Knowles is standing by with injured guard Mike Cook.
Right now, you tore some cartilage in your knee. You tore your ACL and your MCL, and it's also bruised. What are you doing to rehab it?
Right now, I'm just trying to work on range of motion, try to get his moving, bending it as far as I can, and just trying to put some pressure on it just to try to get it more mobile. And later on, when I get my crutches and my braces off, I'll probably start shooting, doing some standstill shooting, because with the tear in my MCL, I can't really move side to side. So right now, I'm just trying to get my range of motion up, trying to get some strength for my knee, and just trying to get better and get ready to start lifting and, really going hard.
What does Pitt need to do in the second half to pull out the win against Villanova?
I think we need to play some defense. Our offense is struggling right now. It's kind of like the second half we had against Rutgers. We're really struggling to score right now. And, we really need to pick up our defense. They're getting a lot of easy layups, a lot of dunk attempts, and a lot of offensive rebounds. So we need to get back to playing defense, trying to lock them down.
Thanks, Mike. Back to you, Beth.
Thanks, Melissa. Well said by Mike Cook, as Villanova has shot 54% here in the second half, and Ramon drills the three.
Ramon coming back. You can't leave that guy open. He can knock down shots, and you see this crowd starting to get back involved in the game. Look out.
41% from three-point range over the last 8 games for Ramon as the starter at the point. And after the injuries to Cook and Levance Fields. Reynolds tried to dish it down low. Villanova turns it over. Join Mike Gleason, Adrian Branch, and Drew Barry for Give and Go tonight as they direct viewers to multiple men's college basketball games around the country with live cut-ins, highlights, and studio analysis. Give and Go on ESPNU tonight at 9 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com.
As we talk, the game of runs right here. Now the momentum shifting back to Pittsburgh again. Villanova came out, jumped on Pittsburgh at the beginning of the second half. Now the favor back for the Panthers.
That's 7 in a row scored by Pitt. And from a tie ball game, it's 45-38. Redding.
And you see the difference now. Pittsburgh picking up the defensive intensity. Maybe they were listening to Cook in the interview or something, but they're picking up the pressure, starting to look like the team that we saw in the first half.
Jay Wright calls the timeout. And Pittsburgh on the run right now to grab the 45-38 lead.
Watch right here. You see no help defense, nobody in the paint. Drives all the way to the basket. That is a no-no if you're a coach, and will drive Jay Wright crazy.
That's 3 turnovers on the last 3 possessions now for Villanova, and they are in some foul trouble. Cunningham and Redding with 4 each.
And that could really come back to haunt them. I mean, they really need Cunningham in the game. Redding, these guys foul out. Villanova, not a lot of depth, especially with Mr. Drummond struggling with his health as well.
DeJuan Blair, 8 points, 10 rebounds. 9 points for Gilbert Brown to lead the way offensively for the Panthers. Reynolds and Pena both in double digits for Villanova. Under 10 minutes to go here at the Peterson Event Center. Ramon doubled. Blair, offensive rebound, didn't even come down with it. And cleared out of there by Pena. Scotty Reynolds. That's what he needs to do, be aggressive to the bucket, and he draws the foul and will head to the line.
And I may say he may be the greatest in the Big East at forcing the issue. He may be the greatest in the conference at pushing the ball right at you and making you make a decision to either foul him or get out the way.
And that is the 4th personal foul on Ronald Ramon with 9.5 minutes to go. Ramon has only fouled out once in his 118-game career at Pittsburgh, and he will head to the bench.
And that's going to hurt the Panthers a lot. Ramon really the only ball handler out there for Pittsburgh. Let's see if Villanova picks up the pressure with Ramon out the game.
I think we might see a little full court coming here if Reynolds knocks this one down. Sam Young replaced him in the lineup, and here it comes. Little 1-2-2 here from Villanova.
This is when Villanova is at its best in the 1-2-2. Really gave Pittsburgh problems last game down at the Pavilion. But right there, Pitt showing you that it's not that bad. I think Pitt has to get Young off track as well. They have to look inside for Blair. And then Biggs shows you his left hand right there. They need to score in the paint, get the ball down low, have Young penetrate. And this crowd is at it again in the Peterson Center.
Villanova without a basket in close to 5 minutes now. Suffered through a similar drought in that first half. Pena rolls off, can't knock it down. Couple of chances in close for Villanova, and then Brown stepped on the end line.
And I think where Villanova struggles is that when Scotty Reynolds is not scoring, they don't know who's going to step up. They don't have a consistent go-to guy. And right now, Reynolds was scoring at the beginning of the first half, but nobody else really getting in the action.
Anderson off balance, heaved it up with the left and put it in.
And just like that, the utility guy Anderson comes and he gets you a well-needed bucket. He's a Wildcat captain. Just gets it done.
Just do beat the backcourt clock. Nova trying to apply the pressure here with Ronald Ramon on the bench with 4 fouls, and Blair is fouled out top.
Let's show you right here. Off the penetration, Anderson might have got away with a step right there, but hey, it's 2. It counts. Dwayne Anderson out of Maryland. I love this guy when he comes in the game. He provides energy. Sometimes he doesn't play, comes in ice cold, gets the job done.
Blair at the line. DeJuan's 4 of 4 tonight. Misses the front end, grabs the rebound. Says, give me the 2 instead.
And that's huge. That's huge. That's what he does best. He attacks the glass, and that kills you if you're Villanova off a free throw. And these fans have a lot to jump and scream about now. They are getting excited in the Peterson Center.
Reynolds out top, directing traffic. No good from three-point range. Young soars for the rebound. Benjamin twisting and turning, no. Another offensive rebound, and foul called on the floor will go against Nova.
How about Benjamin on that last play, showing you a little shake and bake. They call him K. Rucker. He's out of New York.
Pittsburgh's all fired up. They've built the lead back up to 8 with 7:11 to go.
Power tools have evolved. The new lithium Ryobi 1 Plus tools work at full power twice as long with a battery that fits all your other 1 Plus tools. Ryobi 1 Plus. Pro features, affordable prices. You'll find them only at the Home Depot.
The extreme power of Energizer Lithium, the world's longest-lasting AA battery in high-tech devices. Energizer, keep going.
They say a man should always dress for the job he wants. So why am I dressed up like a pirate in this restaurant? It's all because some hacker stole my identity. Now I'm in here every evening serving chowder and iced tea. Should have gone to freecreditreport.com. I could have seen this coming at me like an atom bomb. They monitor your credit and send you email alerts, so you don't end up selling fish to tourists in t-shirts.
Offer applies with enrollment and triple advantage.
Old Spice is the bare knuckle, straight arm tackle, heavyweight deodorant that gives the best game, set, and match, high step and sudden death, double overtime performance in the pit fight against odor.
Safe!
From odor. Thanks, Old Spice.
Week here on ESPN, presented by EAS. They've been selling this place out ever since they opened it 5 years ago. 91-9 their record at home. One of those losses was their last game against Rutgers. As we take a look at some of the numbers on our stat track, Villanova actually out rebounding Pittsburgh so far in the second half. Pittsburgh taking better care of the ball.
And that's been the difference in the second half. Both teams shooting at the same clip. Villanova kind of attacking the glass a little more, which was the story in the first half for the Panthers.
Foul trouble also an issue for the Villanova bigs. Cunningham and Redding with 4 apiece, and then Ronald Ramon with 4 for Pittsburgh. On the outside, Biggs at the free throw line. 61% on the season for Tyrell. Now 6 of 9 here tonight.
And free throws are going to be very important down the stretch for both teams. Pittsburgh, pretty good free throw shooting team.
Now 14 of 21 in the ball game. Leads back up to double digits as we approach the 7-minute mark. And Villanova turns it over.
And Villanova just struggling offensively now. Nobody to go to. Reynolds has scored most of the points in the second half, but just not another guy or another piece to step up and give him some support.
And even his points, John, came early in the second half when they made a run to tie up the ball game. The lob to Young. Biggs, or Blair rather, with the tip won't go. Reynolds tried to kick it out to the shooter, and a couple of back-to-back turnovers here for Nova. Student Spirit Week presented by EAS continues Thursday night at 11 Eastern with women's basketball. Loyola Marymount taking on San Diego. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com. Reynolds trying to harass Benjamin a little bit out there, force the turnover. They've taken decent care of the ball, though, since Ramon's been out.
Yeah, well-coached team. They really take care of the basketball. And they're knocking down shots there. Young starting to step up. Pittsburgh really starting to coast. take control of this ball game. Villanova down 13.
That was a big bucket for Young now with 10. Reynolds, nowhere to go, turn back. Fisher looking for three, won't go. Peña's got it. That three off the mark as well. Blair with the double-double. 10 points, 12 boards for the big guy.
And Pittsburgh just bottling off the paint. Nobody's going to get inside. If you're going to beat him, you're going to have to take a contested three-point shot. And most time, more often than not, that will not get you the victory. And you see the pressure has subsided for Villanova right now. Not able to score the basketball. You don't see the same intensity. You don't see the same bounce in their step.
Benjamin off the dribble, leaves it off for Biggs. And Jay Wright's got to call the timeout. The biggest lead of the night for the Panthers with under 5 to go.
And we're going to show you right here. Here comes the penetration. You see right here in the dish. With the score right there. Show it to you again. Guys coming over late. Nobody rotating. Scotty Reynolds too little. The score by Mr. Biggs. And then the chest bump.
Well done by Biggs. That's 4 assists now, though, for Benjamin, who has been very steady moving over to the point after Ramon picked up the 4th personal. In the last 7 minutes, a 19-3 run for the Panthers.
They've just turned it on. They've been scoring the ball. They've been denying passes. They're in the help position. Villanova just looks totally out of sync. Everybody looks unsure of themselves. They don't know where the points are coming from. A team in disarray right now.
Biggs into double digits with 11. So with under 5 minutes to go, Villanova's got to scramble, try and get back into this one.
If I'm Villanova right now, I have to find a way to pressure the basketball. We know Pitt's a very sound basketball team when it comes to taking care of the ball, but you have to try to force some type of turnovers and get out in transition, because in half court, you're just not going to score against this team. They're too stingy. They're too well coached defensively.
3 players now in double figures for Pittsburgh. Biggs, Young, and Blair. Reynolds and Peña in double figures for Villanova. Reynolds looking for the baseline, and the block is going to be called on Benjamin. That's going to be his second. Let's check in with Melissa Knowles.
During that timeout, Coach Wright was telling his guys they have got to work on getting the ball inside and getting some easy baskets. He wants them to make layups and even try to dunk the ball if they can, just to get the momentum back in their favor. Beth?
Thank you, Melissa. We'll try and do anything here to get things going. Young with the block and the throwdown and the foul.
And Pitt just totally blowing Villanova out of the gym at this point. All over the place defensively, and a monster finish by Mr. Young. Watch him get his hand in the passing lane. You see that Pitt just bottling up Villanova. He blocks the shot, and he gets out in transition, and he's off, and he's skying, and he's throwing it down. Look at the length right there. And watch, bad foul right there. And he gives him the finish and the screen.
10 points, 7 rebounds now for Sam. It had been a frustrating first half for him shooting, and coming off one of his poorest offensive performances of the season against Rutgers when he was just 4 of 17. So you can see him unleashing some of that emotion here tonight.
And a lot of guys in this conference, there are a lot of big-time players. You know, when you talk about the best players in the Big East, you have to mention Young's name as well, along with Dante Green, A.J. Price, Aaron Godey over at Notre Dame. Mr. Young has been having a big year as well.
Reynolds all alone zone on the inbound. A blown assignment there for Pittsburgh, and here comes some full court pressure.
And Pittsburgh just handles the pressure very well. Obviously, they've learned from their mistakes when they played Villanova down in Philly.
Still, John, just 2 turnovers in this second half after they had a dozen in the first. Biggs. Everybody gets a touch on that possession for Pitt.
And Biggs is just getting layups. He's getting the ball in great position to score. Just slicing through the Villanova defense right now.
Grant hits for 3. Malcolm Grant, his first shot and his first field goal after he dropped 22 on Pittsburgh in their meeting in early January.
Hasn't really got a lot of minutes tonight. And that's the thing about Villanova right now. Coach Jay Rice said he's still trying to find what lineups work. He's trying to find out which guys can step up. I mean, some nights it's Fisher, some nights it's Grant, some nights both of those guys disappear. You just have to find a group that can work well together, and he hasn't found it yet.
Well, you talked a little bit just a second ago, John, about some of the best players in the conference. How about your all-Celestin team that you've put together for us midway through the Big East season?
Oh, yeah, well, first you got to start off with Luke Harangoti. I mean, he's been playing big time at Notre Dame. He's come out of nowhere. Obviously, Roy Hibbert, the best player on the best team in the conference. A lot of people are not talking about Mr. Vaughn down in Cincinnati. He's been scoring at 20 points a game in Big East Conference play. A.J. Price, which I think is the best point guard in the Big East, and Dante Green, only a freshman, but maybe the most talented player offensively in the conference.
Do we get to put a 6-man on your team? Can we bring Young in off the bench in the all-Celestin team?
Hey, Sam Young may be sneaking in there right now. I mean, he's been playing huge this year as well.
Might have to play a game of knockout to see if he can work his way in.
Hey, I had Sam Young there too. I was fighting with Sam Young and Green. Went with Green right now, but hey, maybe Young says, hey, throw me on there, Celestin. What are you doing?
He just electrified the crowd with that block shot on one end and the coast-to-coast jam on the other. And the foul's going to be called on Cunningham, and that is his 5th personal. Here's a look at Young on the run and the throwdown. Pittsburgh with the second half explosion.
Could you turn that TV down, please?
Do you sometimes disturb others when you watch TV?
Oh, just a minute. Does that have to be so loud?
Tired of people asking you to turn the volume down? Now there's Listen Up, the personal sound amplifier that lets you turn the volume up for yourself without turning the volume up for everyone else. It turns ordinary hearing into extraordinary hearing. Look, it's smaller than a credit card, yet so powerful, you can hear a pin drop from across the room or listen in on a conversation from across the street.
Have you met the new neighbors? I haven't. I met him. He seems nice.
Just insert the earphones and adjust the volume. It's that easy. Now you can enjoy TV programs even late at night or listen to your favorite music without disturbing anyone. Use Listen Up at sporting events and you'll hear all the action.
Ready?
With this handy device, you'll never miss another word at lectures, movies, shows, or even church. Other sound amplifiers sell for up to $100. But call now and you can get Listen Up for only $14.99. With Listen Up, you can enjoy TV programs or listen to your favorite music without disturbing anyone. That's right, you get the Listen Up personal sound amplifier for the incredible price of just $14.99. This offer is not available in stores, so call now.
To order Listen Up, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-632-7830. Call now and get Listen Up for only $14.99. This offer is not available in any store, so call 1-800-632-7830.
ESPNU brings you National Signing Day. Time for recruits to commit.
The University of Southern California.
And for the country's top football programs to bring in fresh talent. Get a full day of expert analysis as we break down each signing.
They've got to solidify the quarterback spot.
And predict who's built for success.
This might be the biggest running back recruit in this entire class.
Live coverage begins next Wednesday at noon on ESPNU, presented by 76, with expanded coverage on ESPN.com, ESPNU.com, and ESPN2.
ESPNU's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by EAS. Don't waste your workout. Here at the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh, 61-46. The Panthers with the big lead here with 3:12 to go. They've outscored Villanova 24-8 over the last 10.5 minutes.
And they've been doing it by spreading the basketball around. I mean, Sam Young has 13. DeJuan Blair already has a double-double, 10 points, 13 rebounds. And Biggs is stepping up as well. He has 13 points. On the other end for Villanova, it's basically been all Scotty Reynolds. He's 6 for 12 from the field. Everybody else on the team 12 for 42. So there's no way you can win in this conference with only one guy producing.
They came back and actually momentarily took a 1-point lead at 38-37, and then Pittsburgh just went to work. Ramon has come back into the ball game, playing with the 4 fouls for the Panthers. Dante Cunningham has already fouled out for Villanova. Grant tried to drop it off inside for Anderson, and now Reynolds. The dish to Pena. Blair bothered the shot. DeJuan 10 points and 14 rebounds.
And again, you see Pittsburgh at the other end in position. Just a tremendous position defense team. You're never going to get a layup. You're never going to get an open shot.
Reynolds gets the steal and the lay in the other way.
And that's the way you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to get steals. You're going to have to get out in transition, because when you come down and you try to play half-court offense against this team, it's just tough.
21 now for Reynolds. Villanova desperately looking for some turnovers now. And the foul's going to go against Grant. And Young a little slow to get up. 2:14 to play here at the Peterson Event Center. Pittsburgh 62, Villanova 48.
And I think the thing you have to look at in this game is that Pittsburgh is the top team in the conference in assist to turnover ratio, which means they take care of the basketball. Villanova comes in Big East conference play, they forced the most steals more than any team in the conference, and they were not able to turn Pittsburgh over when it counted tonight. Just didn't work out for them. And Pittsburgh just doing a tremendous job. They're well coached. Really playing well, even without 2 of their big-time players in Cook and Levance Fields.
There's Levance over there on the bench. The hope is for Pittsburgh that he will be able to return sometime in mid to late February.
You know, and I'm not going to sit here and act like a prophet. There's no way you could have told me that Pittsburgh will be able to compete at this level without their point guard. I mean, he was one of the best in the conference. With him being out, there was no way I thought they could compete and win games at this high level, but they're doing a tremendous job.
They win tonight. They're 6-3 without those 2 guys, including a win over Georgetown, the only loss that the Hoyas have suffered in the league this year.
And I was here for that game when they beat the Hoyas. They did a great job out there. Really slowed the Hoyas offense down. Attacked the glass. DeJuan Blair had a huge game. They really shut down Hibbert.
After the low-energy second half for Pittsburgh, Jamie Dixon got back to a much harder practice regimen. You know, the concern was for a while there, hey, we can't afford to get anybody else hurt. And after that Rutgers loss, they said, you know what, we got to go back to having harder physical practices again the way we usually do it. And the team has responded here tonight. 1:33 to go. The timeout for Nova, down by 12.
Yeah, there's nothing that you can do about guys getting hurt. I mean, if you play tentatively, a lot of times you'll end up getting hurt. I mean, you just have to go out there and play the game. And injuries happen. That's part of basketball. You have to go out there and practice as hard as you can to prepare your team for this conference, because as you saw, Rutgers coming in here knocking off Pitt, you know, Cincinnati knocking off a couple of teams this year, actually knocked off Pitt as well. Anybody can beat you in this conference. You have to be prepared.
The standings in the Big East coming into play tonight with a busy conference slate. Georgetown at 6-1. They looks like they're going to win at St. John's. They've got the big lead late. They held the Johnnies to just 2 first-half field goals. And Cincinnati with a big win on the road as they beat Bob Huggins in West Virginia down in Morgantown and snap a 2-game losing skid.
And Cincinnati has knocked off a lot of top teams this year. They beat Villanova earlier, beat Louisville. They nearly beat Connecticut.
Yeah. That's just their second road win of the season. A big one for Mick Cronin's young club.
And this conference is just so unpredictable. I mean, a lot of people, you know, at the beginning of the year, they talked about the top teams being Georgetown, Louisville, and Marquette coming in third. And right now you see Marquette just middle of the pack. You see Notre Dame up top. Anybody can be beat.
That's the 5th foul on Redding. He will depart. Yeah, I mean, look at Seton Hall. They started out 0-3, and now they've won 4 straight. They're coming into their game at Rutgers tonight. And Rutgers looking for their first conference victory, and they knock off 2 ranked opponents in a row. Mike Coburn, the Rookie of the Week this week for the Scarlet Knights.
Well, Rutgers has good guard play. I mean, they have Coburn. He's really starting to come on. They have a guy named Corey Chandler out of Newark, New Jersey. Went to the same school as Randy Foy out of Eastside in Newark. He's playing big-time basketball. And then Seton Hall, they're a dangerous team as well. I mean, they have 2 guys that can really score the basketball.
Reminder that Give and Go is coming up next, and we'll get you around the country for all the latest highlights. Even check in on some of the live games going on around the nation. And nice hand for DeJuan Blair. Looks like his day is done. 10 points, 14 rebounds. Pittsburgh will get ready for a big road show at Connecticut this weekend, and a rematch of what was it, the 02, the 03, and the 04 Big East tournament finals between those 2 clubs. And Villanova will head home to host Syracuse, a team they've already beaten once this year.
And that game against Connecticut is going to be big. Connecticut playing better than any team in the conference right now, and they're doing it short-handed. No not AJ Price, no slice and dicing, which I call him, and no Dougie Wiggins, who comes off the bench and does a good job for Jim Calhoun. And they look like they haven't missed a beat.
Those guys sitting out with indefinite suspensions right now. They've won 4 in a row.
And how about Coach Dixon over the years has really done a nice job with this program. A lot of big-time players. Brandon Knight, assistant coach over there on the bench. He was a big-time player for Pittsburgh, one of the best to ever play the point position at this school. I played against Brandon Knight a lot of times in the East Orange Summer League back home. Tremendous player. His brother's still playing in the NBA.
Ramon hits on the second free throw and a quick timeout. Well, here's what Jamie Dixon has been a part of in his 5 years and a couple of seasons under Ben Howland before that. Only 4 programs in the country with a better winning percentage than Pittsburgh over that stretch. And they've been in the Big East tournament finals in 6 of those 7 years.
And those are some heavy hitters right there on that screen. I mean, when you're mentioning the likes of Gonzaga, Memphis, Kansas, and Duke, you just have to be proud of your program. Every year they're competing to be one of the top teams in one of the top conferences, maybe, which I think is the top conference, top to bottom in the country. A lot of people talk about the ACC. I think they're top heavy with Duke and North Carolina, but top to bottom, and I think this conference is unmatched.
Well, the mantra, too, for Coach Dixon was, hey, after the Rutgers loss, we've got to defend better. They've held Villanova to 35% shooting and only 53 points, and we've got to rebound better. And plus 10 on the glass tonight. So check both of those off in the improvement column. Reynolds fading away again. 26 now for Scotty Reynolds. But only one other player in double digits for Villanova.
And, you know, as good as Scotty Reynolds is, as tough as a player is, as great as a scorer as he is, I think Villanova is missing somebody that can really involve everybody, can really get guys easy shots. I mean, they have a lot of players, Grant, Fisher, Reynolds, who can all score off the dribble, but I don't think they have anybody who can really distribute the basketball on a consistent basis and get guys open shots. And that's what they're missing.
Young with a new career high tonight with those 4 blocks. So Reynolds sees his night come to an end. He'll check out with the 26 points, has 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Pitt's going to improve to 17-4, 5-3 in the league. Villanova will drop to 13-6, 3-5 in the conference. Grant off the mark from 3 and a foul with 21 seconds to go. A reminder, Give and Go is coming up next year on ESPNU following the conclusion of our ball game. Some of the games that you will be able to check out, including undefeated and second-ranked Kansas visiting Kansas State. Syracuse is at DePaul, Seton Hall at Rutgers.
A lot of good games on tonight. Kansas State, that will be a battle.
The Cuse will be down to 7 scholarship players as well with the indefinite suspension of Scoop Jardine. So the Orange, who have been plagued by the injuries, similar to what Pittsburgh's been through, now without another starter.
Yeah, and they didn't need that. I mean, Syracuse, a depleted team, very tough to play in this conference with only 6, 7 guys. They really need Scoop Jardine out there on the floor. A lot of injuries, a lot of teams in this league playing shorthanded this year.
Drummond. Well, one positive for Nova coming out is the fact that Drummond appears to be ready to go again and give them more quality minutes after the injury. 21st ranked Pittsburgh gets the win. And they improved to 5-3 in the Big East. Villanova now down to 3-5. 69-57, the final score. For John Salistan and Melissa Knowles and our entire ESPNU crew, I'm Beth Mowens. Coming up next on ESPNU, it's Give and Go. The proceeding has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
All right, Beth, let's go right back to the Big East Conference. Jesse Sapp outside, knocks down the 3. Had the big one against West Virginia on Saturday. And, of course, guys, you got to feed the post, right?
Yeah, definitely. The key for Georgetown is getting the ball to the big 7-footer, 7'2", give him the ball, give him some easy dunks.
Austin Freeman, Vernon Macklin, 8 for 10. He gets the slam. Georgetown coasting now. Sapp with a nice pass into Hibbert again.
Well, that could have been a high shot, too. He got inside, deep inside the paint, but they're unselfish. Great momentum coming off a huge win against West Virginia.
Wow, Patrick Jr. looked like Patrick Sr. on that dunk, huh? There you see the final scores there. And Georgetown, with that victory, they're off to their best Big East start since 1996. Hi, everybody. Along with Drew Barry, Adrian Branch, I'm Mike Gleason. Welcome to Give and Go. And what Give and Go is, there's 6 ball games we'll be jumping to, and we'll try to bring the most compelling matchups, the tightest finishes until 11 o'clock. All 6 were 9 o'clock tips. And, of course, when they go to commercial break, we'll come right back here and discuss the game and, of course, get you out to the next game. Okay, Pittsburgh just picked up a victory against Villanova on ESPNU. Let's go back out to Pittsburgh now with Melissa Knowles. Melissa?
Sam, you guys had a really impressive run that second half. What was the difference maker for you guys?
We came out with a little more intensity. We got the crowd into it, and I was hitting a little bit more shots. I was feeling it a little more. I got a little hype, and we came out with the win.
You certainly were feeling it. You blocked that shot, and then you went down the other end and dunked it. Take me through that. What were you thinking?
I knew he was a shooter, so he didn't take many shots in the game. So I knew the game was coming to an end. I knew he was going to try to take one. So I played him close, and when I see him look at the basket, I jumped for it. He didn't pump fake it, so I blocked it and I took it down the upper court. I didn't know he was behind me, and I dunked and I got down one.
And after you dunked it, give me a little bit of that chest bump that you did. Show me.
Ah!
There it is. Congratulations. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Melissa. Hey, that's good stuff. Your thoughts on the Pittsburgh-Villanova game? Nova, now that's 3 straight losses for these guys.
Yeah, a tough loss for Villanova, but I thought Pittsburgh did a great job on the defensive end. Villanova only shot 32% from the field, so defense won this ball game. Pittsburgh doing a great job without LaVance Fields and Mike Cook.
Absolutely. It went to script where you wore them down with Blair and Cook inside. They were Young was fantastic. He was big. He was aggressive. And again, Scotty Reynolds is the key to their team. When you live by the guard play, the jump shot, you die by the jump shot.
All right, put a notch in the win column for the Panthers of Pittsburgh as they knock off Villanova. Now we start our give and go. 6 games going on around the country. Let's start with the Texas A&M game. Ron Franklin, Fran Fraschilla with the call.
You can understand why when you have one of the nation's best point guards with the ball in his hands.
Kirk, strong drive to the hoop, and he was fouled. Connor Atchley picks up the foul, his first.
Very important early that Texas A&M does exploit the paint. I think, Ron, when they've struggled this year, they've